So then, TikTok. There are certain subjects we're not allowed to discuss, or rather certain people aren't allowed to discuss. So there is the talk of white privilege, and the only thing you're allowed to say on that is, yes, I'm white and I'm privileged and I'm sorry for my race. Sorry, not sorry. So the discussion that I want to have is regarding sexual violence, and this is obviously one that men are not allowed to say anything about because, you know, women are the victims and men are the perpetrators. And I constantly run into this. And so having this conversation yesterday on a page on Facebook, and the random feminists started up, how dare you, how many times have you been raped? Number one, it's none of your business. Number two, the reason you think only women can be raped is because that's what you've been taught. Now, in a criminology lecture last year, the other students in the room, mainly women, one bloke aside from myself, were all arguing about how it's such a terrible thing for young girls to have to struggle with this child sexual exploitation issue. Now, we'd been given a load of research papers that we had to read before we went along to the lecture. And it was quite clear, and I pointed this out to the girls in the class, that they had only read as far as they wanted to, which was up to the sentence that stated, women or young girls are the vast majority of victims of this crime. Now, the issue with that is they clearly hadn't read the very next sentence, which also stated, we are unaware as to the state of the situation for young boys, as there is a complete lack of research in this area in the United Kingdom. Now, I've experienced sexual violence under that terminology, as I'm sure a lot of blokes have. You know, we've all had our bums pinched in the bar when we've been out looking cute, especially me. Jokes aside though, what I wanted to do with this video is I wanted to point out just how misleading this entire narrative is, especially with sexual violence here in the UK. So, can anyone think of any times where men might be openly sexually abused or assaulted or the victims of large numbers of women? And I'm not talking about Chippendales here. So the Scottish aren't going to like me for this, and I'm certainly not suggesting there's anything wrong. But has anyone ever heard this phrase, are you a true Scotsman? You see, New Year's in Scotland is called Hogmanay. And if you walk around the streets wearing a kilt, you will spend the entire evening having your kilt flicked up and with women shouting, are you a true Scotsman? Roles reversed, that man would be in jail.